Hello, my name is Tomasz. Welcome back to our channel. Today we will talk about standing leg and how do we use it in our progression in every step in ballroom dancing. A standing leg is a dancer's leg that supports the whole body weight and allows the other foot to move in any given direction. So that standing leg is responsible for making us balanced, stable, to time it correctly. So it's crucial to understand how it works. Of course, in the big picture, moving leg is as important as the standing leg. They just have two different functions, but we need both of them to coordinate properly in order to dance on the highest level. Progression is the most fundamental action in ballroom dancing because it all started from just dancing around the floor without really much technique or knowing what we're doing, just dancing. Progression is also the one that 99, I would say even more percent of the figures contain, because a part of the line figures like oversway or something like that, we all have progression in every single step across the floor. And that's how we dance, by moving across the floor. Now today we will try to separate that progression from the turning, lowering, rising and swaying and focus only on the leg actions and in specifics on our standing leg during step forward, backward, side, and we will try to discuss what happens when we're on the high leg, right? So when we are almost on the straight knees, and what happens when we are after the lowering action, because it is slightly different. In general, in ballroom dancing, we have two types of leg actions when it comes to progression. Depending where the fixed point is, we have a swing action and we have a metronomic action. Let's start with being on the tall, high leg, because that's actually a much simpler situation. So now, when we make a step and we focus only on the standing leg, so I will be going with my right foot forward, my left leg will be my standing leg. In that moment, my left leg will work in a metronomic way, which means that my foot will be fixed and the whole body line that is still vertical to the floor will move forward away from that fixed point. Right? So I will show it again. My left foot at the moment is the stable foot, and I will use my leg as a metronome to move my whole body that is still vertical to the floor forward to the middle of the step. Now, as you know, in the 50-50 position, we switch from my left foot being the standing leg to my right foot being the new standing leg. So now my right foot will work again metronomically, which means that it will become a fixed point to bring my body line on it. Of course, going backward, we will have to do the same way. So if I now go with the right foot backward, so my left leg is my standing leg, my left foot is the fixed foot on the floor, I will have to use my left leg metronomically in order to move my whole body line backward away from the foot until the 50-50 position, where my right leg will be my new standing leg. And from now, my right foot will be the fixed point, and I will use it metronomically to bring my whole body line on that foot. Of course, sideways, again, it will be the same. So I have to use, if I'm standing on my left leg, I will go with my right foot to the side. I have to use my body weight and standing leg to move away from my foot, whether that's step on the toes or not, it doesn't really matter. And now my right leg is my new standing leg in the 50-50 moment, and I will use my leg to bring my body metronomically on that fixed point, which is at the moment my right foot. It's crucial to understand that the standing leg and standing leg's foot has to be as stable as possible. Without that stability, it's impossible to say that we have a metronomic action, because a metronomic action can only occur when there is a fixed point on the floor and the whole body moves around that point like a metronome, right? If I start moving that foot and move my body, that's when we don't have any more metronomic action. And I would say in 99% of the figures in ballroom dancing, we always have one foot that is a stable one and one foot that is moving one. And when one is placed, again, there will be a new stable foot and new moving one. So at any given moment, we have at least one stable foot, therefore one standing leg that we can use to move our body metronomically across the floor. When we low, so pretty much every driving step forward, the situation will be slightly different. Why? Because now we have to divide our legs into two sections. So we have to introduce, as always, femur bone and a shin bone. So femur bone is our thigh bone that has a hip joint around and knee joint on the other end. And shin bone starts with the knee joint and finishes where the ankle joint is. And that's very important to understand because we need to use the joints to coordinate the bones. Remember, the bones themselves cannot bend. If your bones can bend, then I would really suggest you go to a doctor and check it, because bones are supposed to be very strong fixed structures in our body, and we use joints between the bones to move those two structures. And we have to know exactly which joints to move in order to get the correct action. So let's start again with the step forward. I will be standing on my left leg, so that will be my standing leg. I will be moving with my right foot forward. Now I will start already low, and as already you can see that now my leg, my standing leg, is not straight, is bent and separated into two parts. So one is the femur bone, one is the shin bone. Now in the first part of the step, I will try to use my femur bone to move away and act like a metronome. So my shin bone, including my foot, will be a fixed point, and my femur bone will act as a metronome to move my body into the 50-50 position. So once I arrive to that 50-50 position, as you know, my right leg will become the new standing leg. In this moment, my femur bone and my foot will be the fixed points, and my shin bone will act as a metronome to get me on the leg. Same thing will happen backward. So now I will be standing on my left leg. I will use my right leg to move backward. Again, I'm starting the low position, so notice my legs are divided in two parts. The first thing I will do, again, my left foot will be stable because it's my standing foot. I will keep my angle of the femur bone fixed and move my shin bone in a metronomic action to get me into the middle of the step, so into the 50-50 position. Once I arrived into 50-50 position, my right leg becomes the new standing leg. Therefore, my right foot will now be fixed. My shin bone angle will be fixed, and I will use my femur bone in metronomic way to get my weight on the leg. Now, when we say that the femur bone or shin bone is fixed, it means that the angle stays the same. Of course, it can move across the floor, but the angle of the bone will maintain the same, so the other one can be moved, okay? And yes, sometimes we will use both of them, especially when we have a lowering action. Every figure might be slightly different, but as a general rule, there should be one fixed one and one moving one. And please notice that in the first phase of step forward, we use our femur bone to move forward, and in the second, the shin bone, and going backward is the other way around. So we use the shin bone in the first phase and femur bone in the second phase. So strictly speaking, when we're moving one person forward, one person backward, we always have to use the opposite bones in the same time. That's the only way it can ever work together. Now, sidestep will be one of those exceptions. We said that we will use both femur bone and shin bone, and I will do it first sideways and then I will do sideways to you so you can see it better. But when we start low and now I'm standing on the left leg, I will go with the right leg to the side. Now notice that my left leg is again divided into parts, and when I go to the middle and I will go on the toes because that's the most common step, I will straighten my leg, which means I will move both femur bone and shin bone in order to get to that 50-50 position. And now if I want to lower from this leg, or if, for example, if I'm in tango, again, I will have to change the angle of both my femur bone and shin bone to get back on that leg. I will now do it sideways so you see better. So again, I'm standing on my right leg, my left leg will be going to the side, and I will move my left leg to the side and my right leg will be straightening. Now I will, in order to get onto the left leg, I have to change both femur bone angle and shin bone angle to get there. If I go the other way, just so you see better, again, I have to straighten that knee, and again, I have to bend both femur and shin bone to arrive nicely into my right standing leg. Now, from important points, remember that we only said today what is moving, right? So whether it's a femur bone or shin bone, in the end of the day, it's crucial to coordinate both legs and the body line or body weight in the same time, and also know how much time do we have to move each leg. And that's the full picture to learn how to move across the floor beautifully. So you need to know what moves, what doesn't, then you have to know how to coordinate those moving parts, and then you have to know how much time you have for each of those parts, not in general, not just one step is a slow or one step is a quick, but how much time do I have to use that shin bone? How much time do I have to use that femur bone? How much time do I have to coordinate both of them together? That's all crucial in order to move yourself across the floor, not even talking with a partner. Now, of course, when we talk about doing that with the partner, we should try to practice that together. And we should really concentrate that when one person is moving the femur bone on the forward step, the other one is moving the shin bone. And then we both stop in that 50-50 position and we do the opposite bones and move it on the leg. Of course, as always, vertical alignment of your posture to the floor should be there at all times. That's the only way we can actually dance together in a couple. So if one of you will change the alignment of your posture, that's straight away everything will be incorrect. And only through using the shin bone and femur bone correctly, you can maintain that vertical alignment. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I didn't make it too complicated, but in the end of the day, it does have to be specific and detailed in order to make it consistent, because that's all we have to do. We have to learn how to make it consistent so we can do it over and over and over again without losing the quality of dancing. Again, we would love to see your thoughts about the videos, so if you have any, please put them in the comment section below. Feel free to check out other videos about the exercises or other aspects of dancing that we already created, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.